Wow.
Wow, this is some really deep stuff.
I don't know what just happened, but something happened inside of me. Something snapped. Something.
I wasn't expecting that
either. Sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. It's beautiful.
Monster is like really small, but it had to become that to stop me.
And then the hurt child became present when you mentioned it.
And I didn't realize this until now.
There were things that I didn't remember until now.
Funny. I haven't seen that before.
It feels like I'm the monster. I'm kind of seeing images of things. Of a world where they can exist. This clarity brings all kinds of answers.
It's clear. She hugged me and then went back to her place, I guess, in my heart. Oh, it wants to come out. It wants to bippity boppity boop Cinderella me. She's melted into my chest. It's ooey gooey.
All week been finishing things, cleaning up more, started eating vegetables again last week. And it kind of just started happening. It's almost like I just finished going through a meditation session.
I feel light. When you hit that first joint, in the morning, and
I actually feel a lot more awake.
I've had a lot of, interesting times since we last talked. Good times. I feel like my life is going pretty well lately.
Wow.
There are challenges, but it's not the same challenges over and over like it used to be. Which is very refreshing because I felt like I was stuck for so long.
Yeah. What do you think explains that?
I think my parts have settled down a little bit to a point that I can allow them to change quicker and more easily. And also, with my chronic gut issues, I found a diet that works really well. And so my mind has just been so much clearer. And I've been able to get more stuff done. And I've been feeling physically stronger. So I think that also has a lot to do with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's both at once. Like the one feeds the other.
Yeah. That's kind of my story. I mean, for the past few years, I just had some chronic everyday gut thing that I couldn't figure out for 2 years and felt shitty kind of every day. And then it went away, which I still can't explain. And that kind of bothers me. But, I just feel like a different person.
Yeah.
Everything's better.
It's so wild. Yeah. For me, I found what's called the specific carbohydrate diet, which is the most annoying diet to be on. And I know not everybody has to stay on it forever, so I'm hoping that's the case. But even if I do, I'm just glad I don't have to go on worse medication or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Specific carbohydrate. Haven't heard of it.
Yeah, it's where you avoid complex sugars they're harder for the body to break down, like disaccharides and starches. But monosaccharides are okay. So if it's one sugar molecule, it's okay. So you can have honey, but not table sugar, for instance. And it sounds insane. That's the kind of thing I would have been before. I would have been that sounds really stupid. It's all sugar, but apparently it's not. And and it's just helping a lot. And but yeah, apparently when you get inflamed, you stop being able to break down those complex sugars, which means that they pass along through your small intestine and these bacteria feed on them instead of you. And then the bacteria cause you to get all inflamed. So,
yeah.
interesting.
So is that like SIBO?
Yeah,
kind of thing?
I think it's basically SIBO, and that was causing. I think I had SIBO or have it, which was causing ulcerative colitis.
I
Down
think
the
that's one of my best guesses for what I was dealing with, except
yeah.
what it was causing in me was histamine reactions, where it's
Oh,
like I couldn't eat anything with any histamine in it, which is kind of everything.
oh yeah, especially like you can't do leftovers, right? Because they build up
Right.
over time. Oh,
Yeah.
I
And I'm
love
someone who like I make 5 gallons of sauerkraut at a time and have been
Yeah.
doing that for years, and like canned fish and kombucha and everything is like chocolate. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. I was in a nutritional yeast phase because I was replacing dairy because that bothered me. And then I start having symptoms and I look it up and apparently it's one of the worst things for colitis to just put a bunch of yeast in your body. So
Yeah.
can't have anything but feeling better.
Awesome.
Yes.
It's great.
So yeah, for parts stuff, for like what to work on, I want to maybe like just get better. I feel like I have been clicking with something with like getting to self more and being able to genuinely access it instead of just like fighting around the idea all the time. And I don't know, it would just be nice to maybe practice that, and whatever comes up, comes up.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know.
I'm curious, the genuinely accessing it versus the
But versus like trying super hard to get to it and then not really getting to it as a result of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess I can think of like, well, I've been stressed by work lately just because there's nothing really particular going on. It's just that I overcommit myself to everything and everything is just a lot. And I've been listening more to the parts of myself that are tired and asking them like, really, what do you need?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe I could do a little more of that.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. I'm also making note of other parts such as trying super hard to get to self part and overcommitting at work part.
Yeah, well, I can tell you the one who was trying super hard to get there was my friend and I who are both really into IFS. We call them mega managers. The part that like is kind of running you all the time, the one that's usually on top and really thinks that it's you. The one that's like talking right now, I guess. And I've named her daughter.
Yes. In our last conversation, which was in February, I believe.
Yeah.
That was the focus of our conversation then.
Yeah, that's her. So she's been able to step back better and been very happy about that.
Cool. Okay.
So yeah, I've been in the past, I've like sort of just filled up my schedule because I didn't know how to listen to the tired parts. So I'm just like, well, I want to do stuff, so I'll just try and do stuff even though I'm super tired. But now I'm like, it feels like there's stuff that could energize me if I could know what it was, if I could listen to this part. And I want to know. Yeah.
And this is the tired parts?
Yeah. The tired parts, because the complaint that I'm getting from them is like, I never get to choose what I want to do. I never get to do things that fulfill me. I'm always doing work or doing school or doing something for somebody else. Or doing this thing that I committed to that sounded interesting a while ago, but I don't want to do it right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want to tap into the immediate sense of what I want to be doing at any given moment.
Okay. And you think that will come from the tired parts?
Yeah, I think that'll give us
Okay.
some insight at least.
Okay. Can you access them now? Do you notice how they show up in your body?
Yeah, they're happy to be listened to. They're happy to be getting more attention recently. There's kind of like a yay, I get to say what I want. But then there's another voice that's kind of like, you don't even know what you want. And if you had your way, we would just sit here and do nothing. And I don't think that's even true, but
Okay.
the tired part is kind of nervous hearing that.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
'Cause
So you have a part that says you don't even know what you want. You'll just do nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have a plan. You're not going to take us anywhere interesting if I let you leave.
Right. Okay. Well, it sounds like your goal is to kind of formulate a plan by checking in with all your parts.
Yes, definitely.
So you could just acknowledge that one that says you don't have a plan. Let it know that makes sense. And
yeah. And it's okay to not have a plan yet. Before you do anything, you aren't doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does it respond to that?
It's kind of like it's definitely willing to give things a try. It's just worried. It's worried about what it's going to find out. If it lets me do what I actually feel like doing, it's worried that the answer won't be anything interesting. And then I'll just know for sure that I'm boring or something.
Okay. Okay. Yes. So it's worried that if you do what you feel like you're doing, then that might just be nothing or not interesting. And that would indicate that you are boring. Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. And it's not just that I would be boring, it's that I wouldn't get to do anything because I have the thing I feel like doing in the moment. And I also have things that I love the idea of doing. So I'm afraid that I won't ever want to do the things that I want to do.
Right. The someday things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yes. So when it's thinking about being boring, it's saying, yeah, you'll just do the stuff in the moment and you won't get around to any of that stuff. Okay.
Any of the important stuff.
All right. So it's looking out for the important stuff. Okay. Just thank it for that.
Yeah. Yeah. It has a lot of ambitions and it has a lot of zest for life. It's inspired by a lot of things and many, many interests.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So how does that part feel about just being acknowledged?
It's nice to be acknowledged, but I think it's just afraid of what it'll find out. It's nervous. It's it's interested because it wants to feel genuinely, it wants the system to feel genuinely inspired because it thinks that is the real key to move forward, but it's afraid that it'll find out we can't move forward.
Okay, it's afraid that there won't be any of that genuine inspiration, and therefore you won't be able to pursue those bigger goals.
Yes.
Okay. I just want you to know I have all these same parts. And I'm very optimistic for how, at least how I've worked with them, and how I believe you can also.
Yeah, I agree. I do feel like I feel a big optimism from, I guess, myself and even daughter.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this part thinks that inspiration is how to get those someday things. Okay.
Yeah, connecting to like the real act of doing things instead of just like thinking that would be cool.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're kind of, these two are kind of allied in that they don't like work all the time. Because work isn't the immediate fun and it's not the ultimate goal either. I have a lot of ambitions that are outside of work.
Right. Right. So the overcommitting at work is getting in the way of the long term and the in the moment.
I would say it's like having work responsibilities plus all of the other stuff that I overcommit to myself. It's like it adds up to be too much. It's not that my job is necessarily completely too much, but yeah, basically, yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, does it all make sense to you what this part's concerned about? The one concern that you won't have that inspiration that it thinks is needed?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Makes sense to me too.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I guess I want to just offer or acknowledge that it might be true that other parts of you don't want to do that. You know, like these other parts might not be interested in putting together the long-term big things. And that's okay because those are just other parts.
Well, I get a sense that there is some deep inspiration. Like that's my hunch. And it might not look exactly like what this other part envisions, but I don't think that part really has a problem with it looking a little different. I think it's just scared of there being nothing. And I don't get the sense that there really is nothing. But I guess it's possible.
I don't know if it's possible. I think that you have a self in there, and no matter how many other parts you have, yourself does orient towards good, towards compassion and creativity.
It feels like there would be something really wrong if I got to the bottom of myself and didn't discover some deep drive to do something amazing. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, we could stay with that and learn more about that. I know I am curious about, you know, what amazing, you know, what qualifies amazing for this part.
It's now, see, I'm not sure. These two definitely go together somehow because sometimes I don't even know which one is talking, but I'm getting a sense that basically what's fundamental to me is that I want to do something like something that nobody else has ever done or that not many people get to do, and that I want to be able to change people and influence them and use my skills and my knowledge to do something really big and like beautiful and intricate and yeah, just use everything that I have available, like all my talents and abilities to like, I mean, basically like at the bottom of it all, like change the world. I might not get there in my lifetime, but like I think that's the aim.
Yeah.
And I think the worry is really more that I won't find a way to do that. Maybe.
Okay. It does sound beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you could let that part know that we can look out for that.
Yeah.
And that its desires matter, and yeah, seem like a reasonable aim to me, to do and become something beautiful that helps people and puts your skills to use.
Yeah. And I think the way that I get disconnected from it is by trying to formulate a plan, because I grew up hearing that hard work and sweat and stuff was 95% of it, which was told to me because I was like smart but struggled to stay focused. So I just have this part, and you know what? It might just be daughter, who's like, well, in order to achieve what I really want to achieve, I have to push through and do things that I don't feel like doing. But the more I get into it, the more it seems like pushing through and doing things that I don't feel like doing actually is demotivating and makes me not want to do anything.
Yeah.
So I need to find that intrinsic motivation instead of pushing myself all the time.
Okay. Yeah, so we keep coming back to what I feel like doing. And it sounds to me like you're using that as a shorthand for like what I feel like doing in the moment.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll often feel like a burst of like unattached inspiration, and I want to do something with it, but I can't think of anything.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And personally, I think that's entirely normal and natural to have. Sometimes I feel like sleeping. Sometimes I feel like doing something amazing, and it doesn't always perfectly align with a higher ideal.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Exactly.
Okay. So which parts would you like to focus on next?
I want to go towards the part that feels inspired or uninspired or tired of being told what to do.
Okay. Can you get in touch with that part?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's excited at the idea of being able to live out its potential. But it's scared because it doesn't know exactly what to do, and it's been punished a lot for not knowing.
Okay. How do you feel towards it?
I feel excited to get to know it. And I feel a little bit afraid, not that it doesn't have something to offer, but that I won't be able to understand it well enough to help it.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense to me.
But I do feel a lot of excitement, and I do feel more connected to it than I have in the past.
Okay. All right. Well, you could let the afraid part know that we'll try to get to know it, and any getting to know is better than none, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Okay. Is it all right with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you could let the inspired, uninspired, tired of being told what to do parts. Let them know that you'd like to get to know them.
Okay.
And yeah, ask them what they want you to know.
this part wants so much. It wants to do so much. And that's really why. That's why it's an exile of my other pushy part. The pushy part is trying to satisfy this one. Because this one wants so much but doesn't know how to get there.
And the pushy part is the one that says, okay, we're going to make a plan and we're going to get to work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I want the inspired one to be able to trust itself, to know and to let other parts and self know what it really wants, and to have the time to sit with options while it considers.
Okay. You letting it know all that? That's what you want for it?
Yeah. It's afraid it'll take too long.
Okay, so there's some time pressure.
Yeah.
Okay. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like, what if I don't know what I want? What if I never figured out? What if I want everything at once and that's not even possible?
Does it want everything at once?
Sometimes it feels like it.
Okay.
Sometimes it's like, I want to live in multiple different cities that I love at the same time and also stay right exactly where I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, you can let it know that I've got my pen here, and anything that it talks about wanting, I'm going to write down and try to take it seriously. So
Cool. Sounds
I'm
good.
adding that to the list of things that it wants because we want to get clear on that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So it wants a very, very intense, close, fulfilling partner relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And it wants to be able to go around and go to parties and flirt with the entire world at the same time.
Yes. Yes. Nice.
It wants to do, it wants to draw comics, and it wants to write books, and it wants to be a therapist and help everyone.
Yeah.
And it wants to be some kind of shaman.
Mm-hmm.
And it wants to have a beautiful garden.
Yes.
And it wants to live in a place where everybody knows each other, but also a place where there's tons of people and you can't possibly know everyone.
Okay.
It wants a perfectly beautiful, clean, decorated apartment.
Mm-hmm.
It wants children, but it also wants the freedom of not having them.
Yes. Yeah.
And it wants to discover all of the mysteries of this world and the next without ever losing a sense of mystery and wonder.
Got it. Yep.
And I think that's a good start.
Okay. Yeah. How do you feel towards this part?
I feel like it makes sense that it wants all these things, and I feel like it will. I feel like there is a way to actually satisfy it that we just haven't gotten to yet. That it doesn't need all of the things that it craves. It's almost as if it's craving so much because it feels like it has less than it wants. Not because it actually needs all of those things.
Yes. So because it doesn't have what it wants, it's not full, then it kind of feels like it's just reaching out in every direction.
Yeah. It wants to like try things out and figure out by experience what it actually wants.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't seem like just thinking about it will get there. I have to be like in the moment, in my body, experiencing things in order to understand how I feel about them. And I've spent time doing things and I've had interesting experiences, but I haven't always been like checked in during those times. So it hasn't had always a chance to feel what it wants.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking of different questions, different ways we could go with this. Do you have any intuition about what's next with this part?
I'm curious about what it wants to do next. Like what, because I have a busy schedule, but I also have some free time and I can make time for any one or two things that it really wants.
Right.
So I'm like, what does it want to try soon?
Yeah.
And that's
sounds like a good next step to or next question at least.
Yeah.
I mean, I do the same. I let my parts spill out everything that they say they want. I put it on a list. And then personally what I do is I go back and I say, okay, let's give each of these a score and try to, what's a 1, a 2, and a 3.
Yeah.
And then go from there.
Yeah, that could be interesting. Let's see. Let me think of like some stuff that it's intrigued by. Oh, I keep having a wish to clean my apartment, which doesn't sound like super fancy and doesn't sound like it would be coming from this part, but I think it is because it just really wants to live in a beautiful setting. And I've almost sort of like wistfully looked at my cluttered coffee table and been like, I wish I could rearrange you.
Yeah.
So
I'm just smiling. I had a conversation earlier with someone who was making a list of things that their fun parts wanted to do. And my fun parts wanted to chime in and add some things to the list. And one of them was a little embarrassed to say cleaning the house is kind of fun.
Yeah.
So I was having a conversation just like this and agreeing that cleaning is fun.
It is fun. Arranging stuff is fun. I love decorating. I do get discouraged by stuff I don't know how to tackle. And I think that's where I get stuck. And then this part feels like it can't do what it really wants. But yeah, I mean, I would like to dedicate some time to cleaning up at least some and maybe the parts that feel like, oh God, I don't know what to do about this item or whatever. I feel like there's enough for me to do before I even get to that point that other thing can be dealt with maybe a little bit later.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So when you come to the thing that you don't know what to do with, then it kind of deflates all the fun of cleaning and organizing. I feel the same.
Yeah, because this part wants a very high level of quality and like aesthetic beauty. It wants things to look perfect in my house.
Yeah.
So if it's like, oh, I can only get there halfway, then everybody just kind of feels like,
Yeah.
But yeah. I
have a part that wants to make another suggestion, or at least something that works for me around that.
Sure.
I had to kind of get with parts work, get past the shame of having a junk drawer, or in my house, it's an entire junk room. And it's like, no, the junk room is great. I can have the stuff and kind of not have it because it goes in there. And yeah, there was a lot of parts being like, no, that's not okay. You have to only have the things that you want. And it's like, well, not really. It can go in there.
That's great. That's
okay.
I definitely can't have a junk room, but I could have I have a lot of I'd be fine having a junk something or other as long as it's like a box that's not hideous. So that I don't have to see the stuff. Yeah. And right now I have too much stuff to fit it all into any kind of nice box. But that is something that I could think about to ward off like the absolute perfectionism. I could say it doesn't have to be perfect. It only has to be like 90% perfect. And that's something. Yeah. Either way, I think I'll be able to, like, my system has more trust in me now. So when I say we will help the parts that are anxious about what to do with things later, I think it's that's more trustworthy than it used to be.
Great.
Say that. So cleaning is oh, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so cleaning is one of the next ideas. Yeah, run it by this part. How does it feel about that? Especially considering its list of becoming a therapist, writing books, shaman, garden.
Yeah, well, it's almost like cleaning the house is the first step of doing everything else. It's like it wants a beautiful place to do all the other stuff it wants to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like something about like the state of my house is related to the state of my mind. And
of course.
Yeah. Like if I can clean my house, it's almost like an indication that I can do anything else I want.
I'm with you on that.
Yes. So there's that. And I want to find out if there's like anything else that's not cleaning related. It's more like overtly creative.
Okay.
But that's the harder question.
Does that bring us back more to the bigger picture part of like, what are we trying to create, or is this still what's fun in the moment?
Well, that's the thing. I'm trying to ask it, like, if you could do a creative project that you actually wanted to do, what would it be? And it's always like, and including right now, is like, I really want to do something creative and amazing that's all my own, and I don't know what it is. And that's usually when a manager comes in and is like, oh, we're going to do a comic this weekend, or we're going to write an essay or something. But it's never satisfied with whatever idea that manager has.
And does this other part feel like that's just someone else telling me what to do? Like I didn't come up with that. That was on the manager's checklist.
It feels like... No, it feels like if I do that suggestion, the end result won't be good enough. It's like, I don't know that I can do anything good enough that I will be happy with it and inspired to do more. So it's a temperamental artist part.
Yeah. Is it the quality of the thing that it's concerned won't be good enough, or is it like the impact of the thing?
It's like both, but I think it's like the quality that leads to the impact. Like if I like what I did and then other people like what I did, that's what matters. If other people like it but I don't even like it, then it's bad. And if I like it and other people don't get it, then that means that I'm communicating it wrong and I need to try again.
Right. Okay.
So
it would like you to be doing something that you like creating, something that other people like that you've created.
Or something that reaches other people. Yeah.
And has a certain amount of quality.
Yes. And it's like, okay, I can sit down and I can make a 4-panel comic, but is it going to be tapping into this deeper thing that I care about? Or is it just going to be me rambling and coming up with something just to come up with something?
Right.
It's almost a feeling like I have to come up with my entire grand unified theory of life before I do any work. Which,
right. Because otherwise, how would you know? How would you know if it's the right work? Right.
As any creative knows, it's the exact opposite that helps you actually do good art.
Yeah, just create a bunch kind of mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's something to be said for knowing what you're aiming for, and
yes. Yeah, and you also can't just force yourself to produce without any soul behind it and have it good. So yeah. But
does the part feel like the way that we're talking about all this is helpful for it? Does it like?
Yeah, it does. I was actually just gonna say that it appreciates that that we're getting to this point of I don't know what to do and not just shifting away to, well, I'll just do some drawing or something. Like it's grateful that we're sitting with the uncertainty.
Yeah. And the part that was scared about that uncertainty, is it thinking, chiming in and saying, uh-oh?
No, it seems to be chilling out because it's realized that all of the that the root of this whole pressure and all of this need was from the quote unquote uninspired part.
Right.
Yeah. So it's no longer a question of you won't do what I want you to do. It's a question of like, you don't know how to do what you want to do. I'm actually just a manager and I'm here to help you do it.
Right. Okay. What's next?
Really just sitting with that feeling of inspiration and not forcing it to be anything that it isn't.
Yeah. And accepting that kind of paradox of choice. And the fact that all of these things do sound fun and interesting. And
yeah, sitting, because I have a very clear sense that if I sit with it long enough, then some little idea will form and it'll actually be my own idea that I really want to do. The only question is how long that'll take. And I mean, when I say how long, I'm talking like it could be in a minute or so, or it could be like another day before something comes up, but it's not going to be a matter of weeks even.
Great.
Yeah.
Would it help to make a practice of this, to meet with this part and to have this kind of sitting and brainstorming with it.
Yeah, I'd like to maybe ask it, like, maybe instead of like, what do you want to do? The question is more like, what do you like?
Mm-hmm.
Because that way it can rattle off all the things it thinks are cool.
Without committing to like, without saying like, this is the one that I choose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I could add another brainstorming question.
Sure.
Next to what do you like is what do you know that you don't like?
Oh, yeah.
I find that one to be really energizing of like, what would really suck? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the first answer that comes to mind, interestingly, would be like not being connected to self
Mm-hmm.
while
Mm-hmm.
doing whatever it is I'm doing.
Yeah. Yep. It's at the top of my list too.
Yeah.
Because if I don't know how to get into self energy, then this whole thing is not going to be a very good
Right.
project.
Right.
Yep.
I wonder if I should set aside time. Maybe like the two things I want to do are clean and set aside time to let the part think for itself.
Yeah. Clean and dream.
Clean and dream. I like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And do you imagine that being a regular thing, or I need to sit down for an hour this week kind of thing, or how would that look?
I think I can. Yeah, I think I'll schedule actual times on my calendar, and it'll probably vary what time each day I do it because my schedule's busy. But I'll do that, and then I assume that after not very long, I won't even have to do it anymore because I'll be scheduling times for things that it wants to do.
Yeah.
But either
Makes
way,
sense to me.
yeah. Yeah. So maybe I'll do like half an hour for cleaning and half an hour for dreaming every day.
Yeah.
And I think that amount of time will keep me from getting like fatigued about like, oh, how am I going to spend this time? But then it's also a big enough chunk of time that I won't be feeling deprived.
Right. You'll be able to enjoy it kind of guilt free.
Yeah,
if it's scheduled.
Yeah, and I won't be like, oh, I can't make progress on this. I'm only dedicating 15 minutes to it. Like that feeling.
Right. And well, also if it is daily, then you get the bonus of the continuity of like, if I know I'm going to do it every day, then it's okay if I stop right now in the middle of something, because it's like, I'm coming back to it.
Yeah. 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 And it's interesting. I've had bad times making concrete plans before, and I think that's because it was like just daughter coming up with these plans and not checking them with the actual parts that were involved.
Yeah.
This feels like it might be something different.
Yeah. A little more tapped into more of the parts and what they really care about.
Yeah. And with the knowledge that I can change it immediately if something doesn't feel right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anything else this part is requesting of you, or?
I don't think so. I think it's very excited that it's going to be given time.
Yeah, I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I think that's all it needs.
Maybe that's because it sounds so much like what I've come to in my own life of like, does that works for me. I do a little dreaming every day and schedule that, and I've scheduled my cleaning, and and when I've not really set aside time for that and made it a habit, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting around being like depressed, and my house is messy, and it's like the exact kind of sentiment of like, I don't ever do anything fun,
Yeah.
and this place looks like hell.
Yeah. These parts they need to be fed.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll type up this list of ideas and send it to you after the call.
Sounds great. I'm sure I'm gonna laugh when I get it.
Okay. Anything else? Anything we missed?
I guess the one thing that I could maybe ask, if my parts will allow, is I just want to know if there's anything that self wants to say to me about anything. Like, I want to get better at clearing space completely, sort of, and just listening.
Yeah. Who is me when you say self would say to me?
Just like anything that it wants to say to any part in the system. I feel like self has this good ability to prioritize and actually know which part it needs to speak to at any given moment. So I don't even want to say like which part it should be addressing.
Great.
I think just this. I got a little like flash of something. Some sort of idea that like there's no one right way to go about it all, because like no matter which way I address any part, helping any part leads to helping all the others.
That's what myself has been thinking throughout this conversation.
Yeah. So as long as I'm getting in touch with them, that's it.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you. This was very helpful.
All right. Well, keep me posted. And like I said, yeah, I'll send you this list of excellent ideas.
Alrighty. Sounds great.
Thank you. And thanks to all your parts for showing up.
Likewise. Thank you.
Okay. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye. Do you want to help bring more self-energy to the world? If you'd like to participate in calls or help out with this project in any way, I'd love to hear your ideas. Join the Discord server or contact me at james@liveifs.com. A huge thanks to our audio engineer, Yvonne, for your care and diligence in editing the calls. To every caller for your courage in sharing some of your parts. And to anyone out there getting to know their internal system, keep going. Who knows? That might be the most selfless, helpful thing you can do for others, and you're the only one who can do it. If you'd like to see us reach the largest audience, we must please the almighty suggestion algorithms at iTunes and YouTube. And they don't care about the power of IFS. They're looking for likes and shares and comments, and the sooner the better. Follow the links in the show notes right here in your podcast player to make your wishes known. And now, a minute of meditation. Or if you prefer, pull over. You can do it in 60 seconds. Just click one of those links. They're right there, and give us a like or a 5-star rating. It would really help. If you think this project is helping people, you're helping people by sharing it. Thank you.